your best friends. No. What are we? It's Rachelsey at the movies. And I'm Batman.
We saw Zack Snyder's Justice League, a.k.a. the Snyder Cut.
It's not a cut!
So if you don't know, basically...
How do you not know?
There's a Marvel universe, and that has people like Iron Man, Captain America...
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Doctor Strange.
There's a DC universe, and that has really what I consider kind of iconic, really recognizable characters, Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, that people have known for ages. Well, Marvel, the MCU came, right? And it was so good what they did in the MCU. DC hasn't quite had the same success.
Not in recent history.
Yeah. So when Justice League came out, it was not a very good movie. People were disappointed. But there was a lot of shuffling behind the scenes and how that movie got made and got released and everything. And so Zack Snyder was the guy that was supposed to do it, finish it, do the whole thing. He was off the project and didn't finish Justice League. And so then when Justice League came out, people didn't like it.
They brought in a different director. Joss Whedon came in and used a lot of the footage that Zack Snyder had done already, and then also did a bunch of reshoots. And so it was like, you started with one idea, another guy came along, took parts of your idea.
Rarely this works.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. Justice League, that
works.
movie was not good.
The fans, right?
They united.
The fans came out and said, we want the Snyder Cut of this movie. We want to see. And somehow, it happened.
They were like, look, we want you, first of all, free Britney. Secondly, we want a different Justice League movie. Okay? We got at least one of those done, people.
So this totally happened. Zack Snyder
went back. I would have never guessed in a million years
took what he already had, got all these big names to do some reshoots to help him out, right? And put a full-on movie together, and he did it.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Over 4 hours long. On HBO Max exclusively.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Kelsey, go wait or skip.
Go see this movie. This is an amazing movie for all sorts of reasons. Most notably, how often do you get a redo at a movie that just came out that was such a big flop? This is that time.
This is history.
This was, just the way even, I would have said probably go see it, even if it was terrible. Now, here's the thing. This is the best movie easily that Zack Snyder has ever made.
Wait, why would you say go see it if it was terrible?
Because of why it was out there and all. I don't know. Because I'm crazy.
I feel like
I'm crazy. I'm Lex Luthor and I'm crazy. Listen, this movie's awesome. It's 4 hours long. It's going to ask you. Now, it's awesome, especially if you know about the comic book characters. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. You need to have a pretty strong idea about who these guys are and how they work. He does not set that up in the movie that well. It's not like... But I think it's awesome. If you're a comic book fan, you'll love this movie. And if you're not, I think it's worth watching. I love this movie. You should love this movie, too.
Yeah, he doesn't set up some of the superheroes... and what they can do and their abilities. He doesn't
for the people that don't know, right? Yeah.
Right, but he does, we do get more character development and fleshed out, but I feel like it's more of an emotional, fleshing out of the characters than it is, hey, the Flash can do this, and that's important to know, so you know how he's doing what he's doing right now. Anyway, yeah, I'm also going to say go. This was a really, really good It was a good movie.
So fun. It was so fun. Right from the beginning, this movie was like, hey, this ain't your mama's Justice League. No.
I wouldn't describe it.
It's not Joss Whedon's Justice League. I think immediately it was like, hey, this is going to be a different thing.
I don't know that I would use the word fun. This movie was kind of almost a cinematic masterpiece of sorts, especially in the comic book universe. It was just a really good movie, and especially remembering the Justice League that did come out and being like, oh, that's what this was supposed to be. All of a sudden we had a villain that was formidable, and then we just had so much fleshing out of these characters. There was, I guess, a lot that hit the cutting room floor that kind of just left you with the original or the first one. You're just it didn't make sense and seemed kind of corny at times. But this one, it was, I don't know. It had a lot of feeling to it. Spoilers. We already said it, but the movie is 4 hours long. I would just like to point out, to play devil's advocate, I do think it's a really good movie. I don't think the first time around, if they would have kept Zack Snyder on and everything, that we could have had a 4-hour Justice League the first time around. I don't think audiences would have felt like enough had been put into this universe to warrant something like that. By the time the MCU got to those Infinity War and Endgame, which were really long, they had put a lot in order to warrant that. So I don't think that. Now, you told me that originally this was supposed to be, Zack Snyder went into this to make 2 movies. And so then this whole 4-hour vision would have been in 2 movies.
Yeah, originally he wanted to make 2 movies. 2 Justice League movies, and then they cut it down to 1. So I think when he got the opportunity to make his vision, the Snyder Cut, I think he just went and he smashed them together and made it a long 4 hours. And it was amazing. This is The Flash. This is Batman. The thing about the last Justice League movie that came out with Joss Whedon was that the characters didn't seem like the characters, with the exception of maybe Wonder Woman, but even they did Wonder Woman wrong, I thought, in Joss Whedon's version of the movie. We didn't get anything with Cyborg. The Flash was wasted. I thought he was a good character. But in this movie, man, you got a lot of great moments with all the most important characters, I think.
Wonder Woman was amazing. Like, I was just like, yeah. Because we already have backstory. We already have a movie on Wonder Woman. But in this, she was amazing. And then I think about in the movie sphere, we have her in early 1900s, we have her in the 80s. Well, this movie is after all that, so she's particularly badass, and she should be in the timeline of
yeah, she's Wonder Woman. And then even when the Flash, this is spoilers, of course, when the Flash runs back in time, that was, I almost cried. That was, if you're a Flash fan, that's a big thing, right?
Yeah.
And to see him do it, and I don't know, they did set it up technically, but because of something that happened early in the movie, but being a fan of the comic book Flash and the TV show, even if you watch the TV show, I knew that he could do that, and I didn't know that he knew he could do that, but he did it,
Yeah.
So
yeah, because we kind of don't know where the Flash is in his development, right? Of having his powers and everything. It's just the Flash is in this movie.
Well,
I kind of don't know where he's at. So the fact that he even knows that he can do that means that he's well versed in his own powers at this point.
They treated Superman character a lot better. They treated the people around Superman's character a lot better. The movie made sense. This was a cohesive vision that started with Man of Steel, that continued in Batman vs. Superman, and it's we got, now all those 3 are a trilogy. Those movies fit together. The other Justice League movie did not fit the other movies.
And I do see that. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of Man of Steel. I'm not a huge fan of Batman vs. Superman. I don't think they're particularly great. But who knows? Maybe if we had Snyder cuts on those movies as well.
I'm starting to think that give Snyder a free license, free reign in this Snyder create a Snyderverse and put it on HBO Max.
And the DC's thing will just be all 4-hour movies all the time.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's a lot. But this was really, really good. Also, Superman being brought back to life this time didn't make me so uncomfortable. I was like, what are they doing? Is this...
Well, it just didn't make any sense last time. I remember what are they doing and why is he itchy? It was weird. The differences, if you notice the differences between the original Justice League that Joss Whedon did and the Zack Snyder cut, it's in this movie, all the good parts, almost 99.9% of the good parts are in this movie. They were Zack Snyder's original movie. And then all the parts that you hated, that wasn't Zack Snyder's thing.
Except I didn't hate Aquaman sitting on the last one.
Yeah, that was funny.
I really missed that.
That's one thing.
So that makes me wonder, humor in this movie. I would say humor was very low on the priority list, which is fine. It doesn't have, nobody thinks of humor when they think of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, right? But there were some scenes in this movie, the, Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth, I thought was hilarious. Wasn't in the movie at all. There were some scenes with the Flash. So the Flash has a really great personality, especially up against the other superheroes. So you compare it to the MCU, it's Spider-Man up against Iron Man and stuff. So the Flash has that, but I thought there were a couple scenes where he had a humorous line, but the way that they cut it and scored it, it kind of, to me, cut the humor off like at the knees. And I would say maybe, now that I don't want to go back to the first shot at this, but I would say I would like to, if you're going to have humor, maybe have somebody on staff who can really make that just flow seamlessly into the rest of the movie. But yeah, just a small criticism there. Overall, like a good, really good DC movie.
Yeah, I'm sad that I probably am not going to get to see where this was leading, because this has a lot of future flash forwards like we got in
this was
the epilogue of it actually had the Joker, Jared Leto's version of the Joker from Suicide Squad that everybody hated, in it with Ben Affleck. This was shot fairly recently. It was part of the reshoots. It was an awesome scene. I wanted to see more of that, and I'm not sure I'm going to get to do that. Thanks, Warner Brothers.
Zack Snyder, when he went into making this, it was as if like he had a whole vision for the whole universe. And so now we kind of don't know where that stands. I don't know if Warner Brothers, I don't know if they're going to be like, oh, okay, you know what? We're going to bring Zack Snyder back, and we're going to just let him go, and I don't know if they're going to do that.
I would have never guessed in a million years that I would be lobbying for them to bring Zack Snyder back, because I thought that there were a lot of issues. Man of Steel, there were a lot of issues in Man of Steel. Batman vs. Superman is 70% of a good movie.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head some other movies outside the DC universe?
He did 300.
Okay.
That's his most famous one. I think he did Watchmen.
That's right.
Movie.
Yeah.
And these movies have stylistic elements that he has him a lot of fans. He's a good filmmaker, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why he was given the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. But he hadn't put it all together, right? It was more like you're saying like this guy will put it together. Well, he did put it together. Now let him do it.
Yeah. I would just mention that I do think it's a whole different thing. Zack Snyder getting a second shot at this. After one already came out that nobody liked.
He said he's never seen it.
So it's hard to say what it would have been if he would have done the whole thing the first time around. I just think it's a little bit different to get a second shot, get the full 4 hours, get to do basically whatever you want. None of those things would have been in play the first time around. It still would have been different the first time around. So we're getting a completely different movie here. How about his upgrade to Steppenwolf?
Steppenwolf he was really awesome, I thought. And he wasn't intended to be Thanos. If you're going to compare him to Thanos, he wasn't that. He was always supposed to be what he was. But he was powerful, he was awesome, and visually stunning, I thought.
Yeah.
It was a really, really cool character.
Well, we got information behind the mother boxes and what that really... Because it was so confusing the first time around. So confusing around Steppenwolf and the mother boxes, so confusing around resurrecting Superman that it was just what's happening? And then the rest of the movie was kind of
this movie's so much better.
So we definitely like it.
Definitely go see it.
Should definitely make some time in your life. But I understand it's hard for some people to carve out for...
I don't want excuses. I want results.
I will say our 4 hours were not consecutive because we stopped twice to get snacks. Yeah. It's on HBO Max, so you can totally do that. It's not like you're at the theater. So, last thing, in case you didn't know this, because we didn't know, why is it a square on our TV? Why is the aspect ratio this what seems old and dated? And then after we watched it, just went to the snydercut hashtag and see, everybody loved it. But one person on there told us why. And it's because Zack Snyder wanted the entire frame to be visible. And so if he brought it out to a rectangle, he was going to lose some of the top and bottom. So it looks like a square to us, but it's only so we can see the whole frame. If you didn't know that, now you do. And I know because this person who tweeted it. Thanks, this person. Thanks for watching and listening to our thoughts about the Zack Snyder's Justice League, aka Snyder Cut. And let us know what you thought about it.